So when you were growing up, there was a period of time where you got into a little bit of trouble. First, how did you start making money at 12 years old?
I made looking out for folks.
Okay, elaborate.
I'm 1987, I'm 12 years old. The crack era starts 84, 85-ish. There are older kids in this community, well, they're young men that are telling the kids, well, the cops come, they're gonna look out for them. If you see them, it used to be first they said, yeah, they would call them rollers. So what you would call a trapper now would be a roller. The people who were selling drugs, rollers, short for high rollers. They would have us stand on the top of hills. If you seen police coming in, they'd say, Yale 99. And then that just got to be too long to yell. There used to be a show called Adam 12, right? It's a police show. When you see the police say 12, and you'd get 50, 100 bucks, you know what I mean? You sit, hang around with your friends, talk all day, you see police, 12, 12, 12, 12. And then you're like, well, the older boys, they're getting what they call a $1,000 bomb. They give you $1,000 worth of drugs already prepackaged. But you saw the older guys getting like, you're like, you're getting $1,000? Like, they're getting in 240 bucks per thousand. So essentially, the guys were selling, for every $1,000 they made, they would be paid 240 to 250, but they were paying the younger kids like 150 to 170 bucks. So me and one of my friends, we went to one of the guys who was fronting, like, why you underpaying us? And he couldn't give me a good reason. I say, so look, just pay us. I said, we're not even gonna tell the other boys, what you're doing, the other 12, 13, we're not even gonna tell them. We just saying, pay us a foul wage. Told me, me. Take it or leave it. And that was my first attempt to unionize the trap. So because in my mind, because my grandfather had been a member of the union, my dad had been a Teamster cousin, I'm just like, this ain't fair. We're not getting paid equitable. So I'm taking these lessons that my grandparents and mom and grandma had taught me, and I'm taking them into situations where they shouldn't make sense. But to me, this was a labor dispute. And guy told us, I said, all right, cool. I said, well, we'll take it. We can't argue with you. Next time he seen me, I was a rapper. I told him, you. We never went back. We kept $2,000 his money, maybe 2,500. But my thing was, you weren't gonna use me.
How did trying something accidentally at the Foxy Lady impact?
Oh, that almost killed me. That scared the out of me. So I'm at the Foxy Lady, which is now Club Rain. It's on Moreland Avenue. There was a guy from Florida smoking a blunt. Now, I wasn't really into marijuana, but I wanted to look cool. My homeboy smoked and stuff, so I smoked a blunt with him in there. I didn't think this guy's from Florida. Florida they not known for great weed, so they smoke what they call bunk. They put coke on their weed. And I hit it a few times, and I said, something is wrong. My heart felt like it was gonna jump out of my body. I didn't realize I exposed myself to cocaine. I thought I was just smoking some dirt weed with a Floridian, just trying to be cool, because I'm, 15 years old maybe? And I got my man to get me out of there. Because I got spooked, I got paranoid. I didn't understand that this is what cocaine does to you. And I remember going to I think it was like an Exxon up the street, and having to call my mom, and she just laughed at me. She said, you was just geeked. And I'm like, what? Like, because again, I think I'm dying. And she says, nah. She was like, the coke makes your heart rate go up, and that's what gives you the fit. And you're feeling paranoid because you didn't know what to expect. She said, you was just geek, son. And I put that in a record too, and Something for Junkies, where it was one of the funniest, scariest conversations I've had, but that scared the shit out of me.
How old were you when you started dealing, and what would you sell?
Well, there was no, I have a decision to deal. I deal through high school. At the time, it was just a kid. It was convenient. If you needed to go to a dance and your grandparents didn't understand your need for a tuxedo, you still had to get the 120 bucks. So it was just easy to say, well, I know if I go grab a slab, I can go and I have this. So it was just a thing of convenience. By the time you walked to school, or you left school, you went to Martin Luther King to the pool hall. By the time you got to the pool hall, you were gonna get asked for coke, for crack, for something 7, 8 times. So it's, at a certain point, it was like, it just makes sense to have some on me, you know what I mean? So it wasn't like I decided, because if I would have done that, I wouldn't have taken time to love art the way I do. I wouldn't have taken time to be in the studio. It was just, if I needed, it was convenient. It was gonna be a lot easier to get up that 220 bucks than working at Chuck E. Cheese for 2 weeks, which I also did.
What'd your dad say?
My dad didn't know. I didn't know. I wasn't with. My mom didn't know at first. My mom just picked up on my behavior. My dad's younger brother, Ant-Man, knew. Like Ant-Man knew, like he was like, I heard you was on Martin Luther King because my uncle was pretty influential. You know what I mean? So people knew him. They tell him, I saw your nephew up here. You need to talk to him. He needs to learn how to do this different. He don't need to be on Front Street with them boys because them boys not gonna go nowhere. Your nephew could go somewhere.
And your dad's a cop.
Yeah, well, at that time he had left. I think he was with the fire department at that time before he went to the gas. But my dad is naturally a cop, just naturally intent on squareism and the right thing. So he was, I'm sure he was pissed at that to know, but he's never really discussed it with me till later, till he said, I understood.
What would happen with Red Dog?
With Red Dogs?
Yeah.
They beat the shit out of me.
Explain like
the
what
Red
that
Dogs
is.
The Red Dogs is an acronym for running every drug dealer out of Georgia. They were like all the guys who didn't make it to D1 schools that were athletes that just became cops, and they could run, they could jump, they could chase, they could race. And they were, I remember in Allen Temple, the old folks had got to complaining. They told us, the old folks complaining, stop standing in this particular part. And because we don't want to get the calls from them. We got real drug dealers to go catch. We trying to catch the people who giving y'all bombs. We not trying to really, and man, we didn't listen, and they pulled up on us one day and they beat me out of my shoes. They didn't hit me in my head, but when I tell you from my neck to my ankle, they beat me out of the shoes, cut the shoes on them. I just remember laying there. They took all our drugs and they just left. And I just remember laying there and just thinking how embarrassed my father would have been to have to come get me out of jail, how embarrassing it would have been to his former coworkers. I had a talk and a thought with myself, just like if you're gonna do this, you can't do this. This ain't the way. And the cops gave you a chance, you know what I mean? And so I never was mad at them for beating the out of me, even though it wasn't right. Absolutely wrong, you know what I mean? But I'm glad as hell, from a street perspective, they didn't take me to jail, they just robbed me.
How did your mom get into it?
My mother, she was a child born in '59. She was a young woman in the late '70s, early '80s. She partied. And my mom co-owned a business called Drew Jeans, which is a floral business with a white woman from Marietta. And then the customers who were moms of athletes, the daughters and wives of the people who were running businesses here would ask my mom, you can get coke. And my mom's like, actually, I do. I party in disco places. I know all types of people. She was like, and then my mom's like, I saw there was money in it. And my mom left the business, started her own business, kept some of those customers, and she just started supplying those customers. And then after my non-bio dad broke up, she started dating a guy who was a major trafficker. And my mom, I talked to him about a week or two ago, called. He said, your mom was the most fearless person I knew.
Really?
She said we were in Texas for a birthday, and someone had lied to me regardless of drugs and money, and your mom tried to kill his ass. I'd seen someone she was taking us to school one Monday, a guy tried to rob my mother. She was buying just a small amount of marijuana to have because she knew the biggest marijuana dealer in the neighborhood. Sometimes they were friends, sometimes they were rivals, but the guy tried to rob her. I watched my mom stab his ass up.
And then she took you to school,
And then she took us to school. And took us to school because the normalcy wasn't in that she was showing anything abnormal to us. It was in that you do not let yourself be taken advantage of. But mom had a great mind for how to do duplicitous things. And I woke up 2 weeks before my 15th birthday, woman arrested for attempting to buy 10 kilos of cocaine in Griffin, Georgia. And my mother came home in 2 weeks. Shouts out to Ralph, he took the charge. He was a good man to do what he did. I appreciate him always.